One thing that I've been excited about lately is that more and more devs are making sure their games are optimized for the Steam Deck and even submitting their games for deck verification early. I've always wanted to show off upcoming Steam Deck games, but it was a little tough when you didn't know what games were going to be deck playable in advance. Well, August feels like the first month where I can tell you about a number of games that are going to play well on the Steam Deck before they release. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let me jump right in with the first big game in August that I am excited to try on my Steam Deck. Baldur's Gate 3 has been available in early access for a couple of years now, but honestly, I've been waiting for the full release, and the game finally launches out of early access on August 3rd. I couldn't be more excited. I didn't have a gaming PC growing up, so I've always wanted to get into CRPGs. Not only is Baldur's Gate a beloved series in the genre, but it's also made by Larian Studios, a beloved CRPG developer. They made Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2, which received amazing reviews. Likewise, people have been praising the early access version of Baldur's Gate 3, saying things like best RPG in 10 years and masterpiece. The early access version is rated playable, but it looks like the devs are addressing all of the things that are keeping it from being verified. Controller support will be included in the official release, and I believe you're already able to turn off the launcher with a special command. This looks like it's going to be an amazing way to drop dozens and dozens of hours into Steam Deck, and I can't wait. Another heavy hitter for the month of August is Sea of Stars. As many of you know by now, the developers of this RPG are pretty well known now thanks to their well-received action platformer, The Messenger. A demo for Sea of Stars has been available for a few weeks now, and it is really good. It has a timing system that provides a more engaging turn-based battle experience. I also found that the demo really encouraged me to wander around. Like, you could rush through the objectives if you want to, but there were winding paths and hidden goodies that rewarded you for exploring your surroundings. There was this fishing minigame in the demo that you could avoid completely, but it was fun, and it served as a way to chill in between story beats. Just like The Messenger, the writing is excellent, and it even got some sensible chuckles out of me. Also, just like The Messenger, the sprite work is masterful. Really, everything about this game is absolutely gorgeous. Apparently, the devs have said that this game is going to be about 30 hours long, which feels perfect for a retro-inspired RPG like this one. As far as Steam Deck compatibility goes, come on, you already know this is going to run great on the Steam Deck. It's not verified yet, but the demo runs wonderfully, and the full release should be no exception. The third game to discuss is another big one. I'm talking about Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. A lot of people are going to be starting their Armored Core journey with Fires of Rubicon, and you can count me among those people. From Software is at a point where they can do no wrong, and the honest truth is that Sekiro is still my favorite FromSoft game. That's good news because the director of Armored Core 6 was the main combat designer of Sekiro, and as many people have pointed out by now, AC6 definitely inherits a lot of the aggressive style of combat from Sekiro. This includes a stagger gauge, and that means that just like Sekiro, you're rewarded for constantly being on the offense. Doing this is going to fill up your opponent's stagger gauge until they're stunned. That's going to leave them open for massive damage. The game looks stunning in motion and appears to be well optimized, which of course is great for the deck gang. In fact, the creators of the game recently told digitaltrends.com that they are targeting the Steam Deck specifically. They said they were happy with how well Elden Ring performed on the deck, and they want to create that as a baseline going forward, confirming that Armored Core 6 will be fully supported on the Steam Deck. Somehow, they've also said that this game is going to come in at 50 hours or so, which is surprising given its structure as a mission-based game. Still though, between the top 3 games in this video, we're already at nearly 200 hours of gameplay for titles that I am going to be enjoying on the Steam Deck. The next game though may actually be my most anticipated. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk looks so damn sick, guys. This game is obviously inspired by Jet Set Radio, and just like Jet Set, your goal is to rack up combos, tag up territory, defeat rival crews, and avoid the fascist cops. In other words, be gay, do crimes. Oh, I should say that this game is made by Team Reptile, the folks that made Lethal League. That's a fighting game, but it has a similar aesthetic to Jet Set also, and they absolutely nailed it with the look, but more importantly, the soundtrack. The soundtrack is going to be an important piece of the puzzle for Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, and everything I've heard tells me that they're going to stick the landing. This game is releasing for the Switch as well, so I have no doubt that it's going to be verified for the Steam Deck by the time it launches on the 18th. Next up is Blasphemous 2. This sequel seems like it's going to do what sequels should do by being so much better in every way that it's hard to go back to the original. It's got the same gorgeous gothic landscape and architecture, but even more detailed. It's got the same grotesque bad guys, but even more grotesquer. The movement mechanics look silky smooth as ever, and the developers say that they expanded the combat by allowing you to choose between 3 different weapons. They all play differently, they each have different abilities, and those can be used to unlock new areas. That means more of a Metroidvania focus in addition to the action combat from the first game. There are new moves, including brutal executions and a lot more. There was a lot that the devs weren't able to get into the original game that they are happy they are able to pack into this sequel. If you like Metroidvanias or action platformers, I'm confident that this game is gonna deliver. Check it out. Alright, I have a couple quick ones for you. First is Overwatch 2. This game is the first Blizzard Entertainment game to come to Steam like ever. It's already compatible on the Steam Deck, but this release should make it even easier to get it up and running. Given that, I'm actually wondering if this is going to make it into the top played Steam Deck games for the month of August. What do you think? Place your bets now. One game I don't have to guess about making the top played Steam Deck games is Vampire Survivors. This game has consistently been at the top of that list every single month ever since it released back in October. So why am I talking about it here? Well, because there is a big update coming in August. The new update brings a new couch co-op mode to Vampire Survivors, and I'm pretty geeked about that because I'm looking forward to trying that with my 2 kids. Apparently, there's this new item in co-op mode called the Friendship Amulet. It can appear on the level up screen, and it's going to level up a random active weapon for each player. But the thing is, players are going to have to decide if they pick a level up for a weapon of their choice, or they give the whole group a round of random level up. That's a pretty clever way to get the whole competitive co-op thing going. Interestingly, this game is actually getting a major overhaul under the hood too, because they're switching engines. In theory, that's going to mean that the game should run better and actually even have better battery life on the Steam Deck. That's good news. Alright, I have to talk about On Guard next. I didn't get a chance to play this game during the last Steam Next Fest, and it's been one of my bigger demo regrets as of late. The sword fighting just looks like so much fun in this title. I've seen some people play it recently, and it just looks really damn good. You'll have instances where you have to control the crowd, like in Batman Arkham games. You'll have other instances still where you can utilize environmental hazards, like pushing an enemy into the water or kicking a box at your opponent. I really like when the gameplay matches the tone, and I'm really getting that vibe here. Everything just seems kind of whimsical and colorful. There's a lot of opportunity to be expressive in combat, and the traversal mechanics all look really fluid. I've seen some people even compare this to Sekiro, and I already told you how I feel about Sekiro. I do know of people that played the demo on the Steam Deck, so this should be another title where we do not have to worry about compatibility. Turbo Overkill is a boomer shooter coming out of early access. That's always a thing to celebrate because we hear of so many shooters release into early access, and it usually takes a while for the full game to come out. This one in particular was scheduled to release in July, but ended up getting delayed. Anyway, I've had really high praise for the early access version of Turbo Overkill, and I'm not alone. It's sitting at 96% positive ratings on Steam. Once you play it, you'll see why. It's so fast-paced, it makes Doom Eternal feel like it's for grandpas. Actually, it's probably somewhere between Doom Eternal and Ultra Kill in the fast-paced shooter spectrum. I saw one review refer to it as a Tony Hawk game, and I feel that because the movement and traversal can get really wild in this game. You can slide down slope surfaces for speed, all while mowing through your opponents with your chainsaw leg. Oh yeah, I failed to mention that you have a chainsaw leg, and it's vital to moving around the battle arenas quickly, and you can even upgrade it to heal you or increase your boost. I've played this game a bunch on the Steam Deck already, and I'll play it even more when the full game launches on the 11th. The next game coming out of early access in August is 30XX. 30XX actually has a really simple pitch: Endless Mega Man X. This roguelike does for Mega Man X what Dead Cells did for Castlevania, and yes, this game not only has a Mega Man-like character with a buster and everything, but it also has a character that plays like Zero. The roguelike aspect means that you'll be able to play this endlessly, but I thought it was cool that they didn't stop there. There's also a level editor, a way to share those levels, and what they're calling Mega Mode, which is a way to play static levels like the classic Mega Man games. For the level editor, you can build chunks that get added to the catalog of rooms you'll randomly see throughout your play, or you can create entire custom campaigns. I think that's pretty cool because I usually end up finding creators that I like and just playing all their levels, so it would be really neat to just play through an entire campaign that they developed. This game is already playable on the Steam Deck, with the only things that are keeping it from being verified are that you sometimes have to manually invoke the virtual keyboard and the text can occasionally be too small. Alright, here's one game I'm actually not too sure about, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This could either end up really good or really bad. It's one of those online asymmetrical PvP horror games. It's being made by Sumo Digital. They usually make really good games, including Sackboy, Sonic All-Star Racing, and Snake Pass. Also, the devs on this game are apparently legit horror fans, and they went to painstaking lengths to capture the locales that are used in this game. One thing I'm not 100% sure about is deck compatibility. Apparently it runs well on deck, but I don't know if this may end up using an anti-cheat that the devs are unwilling to support on the Steam Deck. Anyway, I think this game looks pretty fun, and it has freaking Leatherface, so yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Whisker Squadron Survivor is already verified, and it's like roguelite Star Fox. Garde is a highly anticipated colony sim that's already rated playable. Shadow Gambit is a stealth tactics game with pirates and magic, and WrestleQuest is a pixel art RPG with childhood heroes like Macho Man, Jake the Snake, and Diamond Dallas Page. August is just stacked with amazing games. Let me know what you're picking up, and check the links in the description for sales on the games I mentioned here. Deck Gang out. Goodbye!